Hi, Craig.
Hey, Cat, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm just was at an arts and crafts store trying to make some stuff before I leave for tour.
All right. What sort of stuff do you make?
Well, you know what? I usually don't make stuff, but I don't know. Sometimes I get a random feeling of I want to try to make something. I got that feeling this time when I was packing my suitcase, and I have like this really big black hat that I like to wear lately.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? I wish it had like a ribbon and a feather on it. I wish I had a hat that had that. And I was like, actually, let me just go to the craft store and buy ribbon and feathers and all that, just make it myself. So
Awesome.
to the craft store and got all that.
Right. Cool. What's it like to be able to have creative urges and then just go and fulfill them?
It's pretty cool. I kind of get the feeling, like I get really jealous of artists. And when I say artists, I mean the people that actually draw art. I've always been so jealous of people that can envision something in their head and draw it down on paper and look at it, you know?
Yeah.
And I always talk to them, and they're like, well, it didn't turn out exactly like I wanted. And I'm like, well, you described it fairly well, and it looks pretty damn good. So I don't know what you're talking about, but I guess I would connect with that by saying when I hear something in my head that I want to write or a melody I want to sing, and then I hear it in a song, I guess it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, which I do want to talk about your songwriting and that, but while we're on the subject of art, I will actually get onto the album cover for Hate Me, which is pretty amazing actually. Was that your vision and you found an artist to fulfill it?
We did. That's exactly what happened. I had an idea in my head, and I was searching online and just scouring Google for ideas, and I wanted to find something that really summed up how we were feeling in our lives, how the album was sounding, and I got the idea to use a tarot card, and it's the Wheel of Fortune tarot card, which pretty much just, you know, it's a wheel of life, and it throws stuff at you, and no matter what's coming in life, you know, you get through it, you tough it up, and it's ultimately your fate and your path in life, which I thought was funny that word popped up in my search because, you know, the band name is The Fate.
Yeah.
So I try to think of a cool way to depict that tarot card that I haven't really seen before. And, you know, the Wheel of Death that they use in circuses and they throw knives at people came to mind. And went back and forth with the artist for about a month until we finally got it right and everybody was really happy with it. And so, you know, we have her on the wheel, but then it also depicts a card and you can see little symbols at the bottom. And I made sure that those symbols represented the band. So those symbols you see are astrology symbols.
I recognise the Virgo one.
So Robert's a Virgo, we got 2 Tauruses, and then I'm the Aries.
Right, awesome. The Wheel of Fortune, what I do know is that can, you know, turn either way, and this album does exactly that. It turns from one extreme to another.
Mm-hmm.
So
exactly.
The first time I heard some of the music, I posted on Facebook that someone's pissed off Escape the Fate, and I love it.
Well, we've always been a diverse band. You know, we have the heavy songs, we have like the poppy sing-along type songs, and we got the ballads. And we've always liked doing the full spectrum of music because we never want to release an album that sounds like one long song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we like to be diverse in that way. This time around, we decided to just go extreme with it and not care about the cohesiveness of the record. So the heavy songs we wanted to be the heaviest, and the poppy songs we wanted them to be the poppiest. And, you know, we just like being a band. We like making different styles of music. And when people label music these days, there's like a billion different words for it that doesn't even make sense to me. So to me, it's just we're just writing songs, you know. But I guess if you're from the outside, when people want to know what kind of songs there are, yeah, we got the heavy screaming stuff. We got the sing-along stuff. And we like to do it all. So, as far as saying somebody pissed Escape the Fate off and I love it, yeah. I mean, we've been through it all. The band has gone through 1,000 different things that normally would break a band, and, you know, we've persevered through it all. We wanted to show that aggressiveness and that, you know, you just have to get it out. We have the ability to throw our emotions into our music, and we have the ability to throw it into our performance every night on stage. So if you're really throwing yourself into a song, it's going to be a lot easier for you to immerse yourself in it when you're performing it live, and that's what we wanted to do with this record.
Yeah, what I think is actually really cool with you, I speak to a lot of bands, and a lot of the independent ones are, you know, going that way on their albums, that they're just doing what they want and they don't care if the songs sound different. But you've actually got record labels behind you and they're very supportive of this, obviously.
That makes us a lot happier as well. And that's why we've always tried to keep the diversity in our music, you know what I mean? Because you kind of lose sight of it, especially us. We're a band that was lucky enough to see some success at a very young age. And, we started touring the world, and obviously you do your next record, and you kind of lose sight of how you started, which is just, sitting down with your friends and working on a song in a garage or wherever you may be. And you kind of get lost in that when you start working on big records and you go in the studio with a big producer, and what are the fans going to like? What does the label want to hear? What does the producer want to hear? And you get lost in that a little bit. And this time around, we're like, you know what, let's get back to our roots. Why did we start writing music? Oh, yeah, that's right, for ourselves. And how did we get traction and become a band? Oh, because people connected with those songs that we wrote for ourselves. Why should you ever change that? So we just went in and we worked on the record 2 months before we even got in the studio to record it. And it was a really stressful time. All the guys, we were pulling each other's hair out, but it all turned out great in the end. It was a really big collective effort, and we're all really, really involved with it, and we're all in love with this record. I can't wait for it to come out, and I can't wait to start touring for it.
Yeah, and there's nothing more beautiful than an artist actually being able to express the full gamut of their emotions.
Yeah.
And you've done that so well on this album.
Thank you very much.
That's okay. You mentioned you're getting ready to go on tour, and you do have a full tour of America coming up going into November, and then early next year you're headed to Europe. Is there any chance we're going to be seeing you in Australia in 2016?
I really, really hope so. Australia holds a special place in my heart, especially with this band, because, when I first joined, years ago now, what was it, late 2007, 2008, the first tour we did together was in Australia. And I just remember creating a lot of awesome memories there and just being so excited that I was there. And, we've done Soundwave 2 times, which is just an amazing festival. Last time we did a headliner there, we came over with Pierce the Veil, and that was an amazing time. It's just, I've never had a bad time in Australia. So anytime I have the chance to go, I'll be there.
Yeah, awesome. And, well, what about then, like with the writing process, your press release, I think, mentions you had 50 songs or something to go through and you sat down and decided what to do. But do people kind of write their own things and bring it to the table, or do you sit down and work on it all together?
We did a mixture of that. We sat down, we wrote a bunch of songs all together where we'd show up at Kevin's house in Burbank, California, and we would just, okay, we're going to write a song today. What's everybody feeling? Do we want to write something heavy? Let's just pick up the guitar, see what happens. Hey, Kevin, here's a melody I had in my head. And we would just work on songs all day. We took a break to go down to the Philippines and play a festival. After that, I went home and spent a week with my kids. And even during that week, we were still hopping on Skype and writing music over Skype. And then we'd get back together and, each of us would have wrote a song on our own while we were writing it as a group. And we would just share our ideas and share the songs. And at the end of the day, we had like 50 songs to work with. And it was like, oh my God. But we knew when we listened to one, what was undeniably a song that we wanted on the record and what was a song that we thought still needed some work. Or, maybe let's save this song as either a B-side or let's save it for the next record. And that's how it came together. We sat down, we showed Howard Benson all of the songs, who's our producer for this Hate Me album. And, he had a lot of input on what he was really enjoying. There was even a bunch of songs that we would play, and he's like, okay, you guys have to have this song on the record. I don't care what any of you say. This is a great song. I have to record this. I have to produce this. This has to be on the record. So when it got down to it, it was really difficult because we had some, I had my personal favorites. The other guys had some personal favorites that, the rest of the group or even Howard wasn't really agreeing with. But, they're still there. And it's actually pretty awesome this time around to have, a whole other record's worth of songs just sitting there, We're in such a writing mode that we just want to continue to write. We have all these songs that are already written. And yeah, it's a really positive place to be in. We really like hooking up with each other and just working on music.
Yeah. Well, this is like, as you mentioned, there's been a lot that Escape the Fate have gone through and a lot of member changes has been one of it. But with this lineup, it sounds like maybe you've got something special happening.
I think so. It feels really, really good. I was telling Robert, actually, that it's very humbling to see his reaction when people ask him about the record. And the way I mean that is people would interview him and ask him, hey, where do you see the band in the next couple years? And Robert's answer would always be, man, I don't know where my band's going to be tomorrow. So he was always nervous about that. And now you ask him, and he's like, oh, man, we're going to be traveling the world playing Hate Me and having a good time. So just to see his attitude and see the difference is very, very exciting and very humbling. And it just makes me happy because, it's been me and Robert since almost the beginning now. So
yeah,
I can't wait to tour off of this with him.
And I think actually the tour is going to be really amazing. I hope you get to Australia soon.
Yeah. I can't wait to come down to Australia and play.
Yeah, well, we can't wait for you to...
I just played for Soundwave, and we had such a good time, and now we have this new record. I'm like, crap, I want to get back down there and play these new songs.
Well, we'll do what we can to get you down here as soon as we can. I will tell people, actually, they can find out more about you at escapethefate.com. And Hate Me, the new album from Escape the Fate, will be out on October 30th. And everyone should jump on all the Australian promoters' Facebook pages and tell them to bring Escape the Fate back to Australia as soon as possible.
Yeah.
I will tell people too, you're of course Escape the Fate on Facebook if they want to find you on there. Thank you so much for your time. It's been awesome to talk to you. And I actually really love...
Thank you.
I love the new album. I'm really looking forward to it coming out. And actually, I did want to, very quickly, the film clip that you've got out for the first single, Just a Memory, was that a real volcano that you went to?
No, it wasn't, but it definitely seemed like it, and our throats were hurting so bad. It sucked to sing that video for that scene, but I love the way it looks. I love the shots that we got, and we actually, there's another thing to talk about is we have another video coming out the end of the month when the record gets released. And, I've always been really involved, for instance, like in the album artwork. I've written the treatment for a bunch of our videos, like the recent ones, Ungrateful and Gorgeous Nightmare were my treatments. And then this time around, I got to write the treatment and co-direct our video for the single Alive on the record. That's track number 5. So I'm very, very excited for that video to come out.
Yeah, awesome. And that's coming out probably on the 30th of October with the album.
Yeah, it's either coming out the end of this month or the beginning of November, but it's on its way, and, we should start promoting it and seeing little clips here and there fairly soon.
Yeah, awesome. Look forward to it. Thank you very much, and good luck with the tour and the album, of course, and look forward to seeing you in Australia soon.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day.
You too.